I'm Julia Marie, founder of Leveled Up Living and your host of the Leveled Up Living podcast. I'm here to help you reprogram your subconscious mind, break free from limiting beliefs, and unlock your full potential so you can create your dream life with ease. Using neuroscience, universal laws, energetics, and subconscious reprogramming, I will guide you in shifting your reality and manifesting unlimited success, wealth, and freedom. Hello, my loves, and welcome back to another episode of the Leveled Up Living podcast. Happy April. I seriously can't believe how fast this year is going. And oh my goodness, I get married literally next month. I literally can't believe how fast 2025 is gone. But anyways, listen up, queens, because today's episode is for all my ADHD girlies who want to get their life together but keep getting distracted halfway through. You know exactly what I'm talking about. 1 minute you're opening your laptop to check your email, and the next thing you know, you're deep in a 3-hour rabbit hole watching a day in my life vlogs from a girl who lives in Paris. Trust me, I get it. ADHD brains are like having 47 open tabs at all times, and someone just keeps randomly playing music on one of them. But today, I'm going to give you the foolproof, step-by-step guide to actually start getting things done without feeling overwhelmed or scattered. Because let's be real, when you have ADHD, traditional productivity advice really just doesn't work for us neurodivergent queens. I'm about to spill all the best hacks that actually work for our brains, things I've tried, tested, and swear by. So grab your iced coffee, pop in your AirPods, and let's get into it. Okay, step 1, the timer trick. Here's the thing. ADHD brains thrive on urgency. That's why we typically wait until the last possible second to do things. We like that extra pressure to kick us into gear. But instead of waiting for a deadline to panic productivity your way through life, we can hack that urgency feeling on purpose. The easiest way is to set a timer. I do this all the time, and it has 1000% changed the game for me. I tell myself, all right, I have 20 minutes to clean the kitchen, go. And suddenly my brain is like, oh, it's a competition? Okay, bet. It's almost like tricking yourself into hyperfocus mode. Something about watching the countdown makes you freaking lock in because your brain suddenly thinks it's playing a game instead of doing a boring task. And the best part, once that timer goes off, usually you realize you got way more done than you expected and you actually feel way more accomplished and happy instead of drained. So try this. Set a 20-minute timer the next time you have to do any cleaning up around your house or just any like boring, mundane tasks that you don't want to do. Try setting that 20-minute timer and see what changes for you. And notice the difference it makes. Trust me, turning tasks into a race against the clock is chef's kiss for ADHD brains. Step 2, the power of background noise. Trick your brain into multitasking. Here's another ADHD hack. Pair a boring task with something fun. So for me, I always turn on a podcast, an audiobook, or music when I'm cleaning, doing the dishes, or even just like checking my email. Because let's be real, if I don't have some kind of entertainment going on, my brain is like, we're so bored, let's just go do something else. But the second I hit play on a podcast, boom, suddenly cleaning the kitchen feels productive and fun instead of like a chore. I'm learning something, I'm getting inspired, and before I know it, the dishes are done. This works because ADHD brains love dopamine. Music, podcasts, and audiobooks trick your brain into thinking this is fun. So you're more likely to stay engaged in that task. So ways to use this hack. Cleaning, play an inspiring podcast. Working, checking through your email, just try putting on some instrumental music, or I love to play brown noise to stay focused. Doing a task that doesn't require any thinking, listen to an audiobook or binge your favorite playlist. Make your brain think it's multitasking, and suddenly productivity doesn't feel like a drag. Step 3, the 5-minute rule. Do it now, not later. Shout out to Gabby Bernstein for this one because this rule is pure gold. If it takes less than 5 minutes, whatever the task is, if it takes less than 5 minutes, do it now. Think about it. How often do we tell ourselves, I'll do it later, and then later turns into an overwhelming pile of unfinished tasks, right? So, for example, let's say you just finished eating. You could put your plate in the sink and say, I'll wash it later. But then your partner does the same thing. Then you have a snack. Then you both have dinner. Now suddenly you've got a full-blown dish disaster in your sink, and it's going to take 10 to 15 minutes to clean up. But if you had just washed your plate in that moment, boom, problem solved in 30 seconds. A few other 5-minute rule examples are putting your clothes away instead of tossing them on the chair, or answering that text quick instead of leaving it on read. Make that doctor's appointment before you forget again. Tiny actions will create a big impact. Don't let little things pile up and drain your energy later. Step 4, the non-negotiables list. Keep it simple. One thing about ADHD brains, we do not do well with long to-do lists. Seeing 15 plus tasks staring at you is very overwhelming for the neurodivergent mind, and that's why we procrastinate everything. So instead, I like to swear by the non-negotiables list. And each day I write down 3 to 5 things I must get done that day. That's it. No extras, just the essentials. That's my non-negotiables list. So here's an example of my non-negotiables list for today. Move my body, walk, stretch, or dance in my kitchen, work on my business for an hour, clean up my space for 10 minutes. That's it. If you finish more, great. But if you just do these 3 things, you'll still feel accomplished. Your ADHD brain loves clarity. So give it fewer options and watch how much easier it is to stay on track. Step 5, dopamine rewards. Trick your brain into loving productivity. Let's talk about dopamine, the magical brain chemical that makes us feel motivated, excited, and rewarded. For people with ADHD, our brains don't produce or regulate dopamine the same way neurotypical brains do. This is why mundane tasks like folding your laundry, answering emails, organizing files, or even just texting people back can feel like pure torture sometimes. There's no immediate dopamine hit, so our brains are like, why bother? But guess what? You can hack your own dopamine system and turn anything into a rewarding experience. Here's how. 1, habit stack with a dopamine treat. So pair something boring with something enjoyable. This keeps your brain engaged and makes tasks feel way less painful. So for example, if you hate doing the dishes, only let yourself listen to your favorite true crime podcast or your favorite playlist on Apple Music. Another example, if you have a long list of emails to catch up on, set up a cozy workspace with your favorite drink, light a candle, and put on a vibey playlist. The key is to only let yourself enjoy the dopamine treat while doing the task. That way, your brain starts associating productivity with pleasure. 2, create a reward system that actually works for you. Our brains love instant gratification, so waiting until the end of the day to feel accomplished, no thank you. We need small, frequent dopamine hits to stay motivated. So for example, break big projects into tiny steps. And after each step, reward yourself. Finished a task? Do a 2-minute TikTok scroll. Grab a snack or step outside for some fresh air and grounding. Another example, use a done jar. Each time you complete a task, write it down and drop it in the jar. Watching it fill up gives your brain a visual dopamine boost. Plus, it reminds you how productive you actually are. 3, play the beat the clock game. ADHD brains thrive on urgency and a little healthy competition, even if it's just with yourself. Using timers to create a race against the clock challenge makes even the most boring tasks weirdly fun. For example, set a 10-minute timer and see how much you can clean before it goes off. You will be shocked at how much you get done. Another example, tell yourself, if I finish this report in the next 20 minutes, I get a Starbucks run. And suddenly it's freaking game on. 4, make productivity feel easy. Prioritize your tasks so that getting things done actually feels exciting and rewarding. For example, I am obsessed with the Asana app because it makes productivity feel so easy. You're able to keep track of all your tasks you need to do each day. And when you check each task off, the app has an automated celebration for you, which just makes it so much more fun. Watching your wins add up feels way more satisfying than staring at an unfinished to-do list. Bottom line, your brain works differently, so work with it, not against it. Instead of trying to force yourself to be productive in a way that doesn't suit your ADHD brain, lean into what actually motivates you. Small dopamine hits, built-in rewards, and making tasks more enjoyable will keep you engaged and consistent. So next time your brain says, "This is boring, I don't want to do it," trick it with a dopamine boost. Your ADHD is your superpower, not your setback. Here's the truth. You are not lazy, you are not broken, and you are definitely not incapable of success. Your ADHD brain is just wired differently, and that difference, it's your superpower. Think about it. You can hyperfocus like a boss when something excites you. You're insanely creative and can connect ideas in ways others don't. You thrive in high energy, fast paced situations where others typically crumble. You feel emotions deeply, making you empathetic and intuitive. ADHD isn't a weakness. It's a different operating system. Once you stop trying to force yourself to work like a neurotypical person and start working with your brain, everything changes. So instead of beating yourself up for being easily distracted, start celebrating your ability to pivot and adapt. Instead of feeling bad for not sticking to your routines, embrace your spontaneity and out-of-the-box thinking. Instead of wishing you could just focus, learn how to harness that focus with tools like timers, dopamine rewards, and non-negotiables. Here's a quick recap of today's game-changing ADHD hacks. Use timers to activate hyperfocus. Pair boring tasks with fun ones like podcasts, music, audiobooks. Follow the 5-minute rule. Stick to 3 to 5 non-negotiables daily. Ditch the endless to-do lists. Reward yourself with dopamine treats to stay motivated. But most importantly, give yourself grace. You are not failing just because you work differently. The moment you stop seeing ADHD as an obstacle and start seeing it as your greatest strength, you unlock a whole new level of self-trust, confidence, and actual productivity. So go out there, own your unique brilliance, and start getting things done in a way that works for you. And if this episode resonated, share it with another ADHD bestie who needs to hear that they're not alone. We're all in this together. Tag me on Instagram @_leveledupliving and let me know which tip you're trying first. I love you all so freaking much. Forehead kisses. Bye.